धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी, सर्वप्रथम तो आपका आभार। अपने व्यस्तम चर्या से आपने कुछ समय निकाला, हमारे बीच रहे, इस कार्यक्रम की शोभा भी बढ़ाई है और इन छात्रों की हौसला अफजाई भी हुई है। हम जानते हैं गत कुछ दिनों से आप उड़ीसा में भी व्यस्त थे, उसके बावजूद अब यहाँ पधारे और यहाँ से शायद आपकी जानकारी में ना हो कि सीधा आपको वापस भुवनेश्वर लौटना है। ये इस बात का भी संकेत है कि किस प्रकार से आपने इन संस्थाओं के प्रति और इन छात्रों के प्रति अपनी प्रतिबद्धता का प्रदर्शन किया है। जम्मू कश्मीर के उपराज्यपाल श्री मनोज सिन्हा जी, जिनका वक्तव्य अभी आप सुन रहे थे, चेयरमैन बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नर्स डॉक्टर मिलिंद, डायरेक्टर प्रोफेसर सहाय, seated before me the vice chancellors of different universities, the Central University, the University of Jammu, senior members of the faculty, and dear students and the passing out graduates to whom actually this program is dedicated. It is you there, that is why we are there. We are there because you happen to be there. And my first thought on seeing you is that you are very special. You are special, and I would not say that just for the sake of saying, being a student of science, we've been taught to speak not without evidence. You are special because you are the graduates, the postgraduates of the Modi era. And you are youth of India at a time when it is one of the best times happening for youth in India. And you are also special for another reason, that with the age being very much on your side, the energy on your side, you are going to be the celebrators of Century India in 2047. I don't know how many of us would be there around, even if we are, how much can we celebrate? But yes, you have been blessed with that privilege by the Almighty. Now this is both a challenge as well as an opportunity, and depends on you how you would discharge it. And why I say you are privileged, you are also privileged to be the youth and the graduates of this era, because sitting before the Honorable Education Minister of India, you are among the earliest beneficiaries of the new policy, the National Education Policy 2020 or the NEP 2020. I sometimes wonder why it shouldn't have happened about 40 years ago. And I sometimes regret also. The other day in a podcast interview with the ANI proprietor, Ms. Samita Prakash, the last question she asked me, any regret, any wish? I said, I can't regret because God would be angry. But yes, I wish I was a youth in 2023. And there's a reason for that, because I belong to a generation of youth where we became prisoners of our aspiration. If, for example, my parents thought I had to be a doctor, I would go in for medical subjects in class 12. If I could make it, well and good. If I did, I had no choice but to do a BSc, either in botany or zoology. Then I would try my hand in civil services, provincial service. If I didn't make it, then I would go in for post-graduation, again in the same chapters. Then if not, then go in for PhD. Finally end up as an educated unemployed. So the old education policy has ironically given rise to a huge lot of educated unemployed in this country, because we had somewhere misguidedly linked degree with education and also with the growth in life. The other day, the Cambridge Vice Chancellor was telling me, Doc, I must compliment you. If I don't have students from India, my PhD would close down. So when he went out, I told my colleague, I said, was it a compliment or otherwise? He said, what do you mean? I said, the grand old man doesn't know that in his country, a boy or a girl would go in for a PhD only if he or she has decided to dedicate the rest of his life or her life to that subject. Here I go in for a trophy. I can obtain a degree in biotechnology and become an MD in a computer company. So I'm glad, under the inspiration of Prime Minister Modi, led by Shri Dharmendra Pradhan ji, we have a new education policy which will hopefully make up for several anomalies of the past. You are also lucky because you are initiating your profession at a time when India is leading the movement of startups in the world. And again, we owe it to Prime Minister Modi from the ramparts of Red Fort in 2015 when he said, stand up India, start up India. I remember I received a number of phone calls asking me, what does this mean? We were so ignorant, so oblivious of this concept. We just had about 350. Today, we have got 800 times, 300 times more. We are now more than 1 lakh. And close to 150 unicorns, that is $1 billion turnover. And we have some of the brilliant boys and girls coming from middle class, some of them first timers, first generation. We had just about 50 biotech startups in 2014. Today we have close to 6,000. We had no concept about agri-startups, and I'm glad this place itself has become the birthplace of the purple revolution of India, which is attracting agri-startups from all over the country. I wish it is talked about more, but nevertheless, it is talked about more outside Jammu and Kashmir than in Jammu and Kashmir. But nevertheless, Bhadrawa and Gulmarg have come to appear in the world map. Somebody may sometimes ask, what has MBA got to do with all this? And that is because sometimes the question arises because we have somehow tied up this startup with S&T or IT. And that's because the concept came from West and landed straight in Bangalore, which was a hub of IT. But our exclusive domain is not IT. Our exclusive domain is agriculture, our exclusive domain is 7,500 long kilometer coastal area, and we are going to have the value addition to Indian economy, which is going to take India from these areas, these domains.